Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special economic weather report brought to you in association with Bank of New Zealand. Today we look at the Reserve Bank's decision on interest rates. This morning it has announced it will keep the official cash rate on hold at 2.5% for some time. Now this is a slight softening of its view on the economy and on interest rates from the last decision on March the 10th, when it cut the official cash rate from 3% to 2.5% after the earthquake on February the 22nd. Back then, the Reserve Bank was saying it would look to reverse that monetary policy easing as soon as the Christchurch rebuild started. However, this time around, the Reserve Bank has left out mention of the Christchurch rebuild, and its comments about inflation being under control and about the earthquake's impact on the economy suggest that the Reserve Bank wants to wait until not just the end of this year, but into next year before it increases the official cash rate again. Now, the Reserve Bank has said that the New Zealand dollar's rise and higher oil prices is not welcome. And this meant the New Zealand dollar dropped quite sharply after the announcement from the Reserve Bank. It particularly fell against the Australian dollar, down towards 73 Australian cents. This is partly because yesterday there was strong inflation figures in Australia. That suggests the Reserve Bank of Australia is likely to increase its official cash rate within the next 6 months or so. Again, we have a situation where interest rates are rising in Australia and they're flat here. That makes the Australian dollar relatively more attractive than the New Zealand dollar. So what now? When will we see the official cash rate increased? Before this decision from the Reserve Bank, most were saying perhaps December, maybe the first or second quarters of 2012. Now economists are saying more likely the first or second quarters of 2012, hardly likely to see a rate increase this year because of the slow economic recovery. In fact, if anything, people are shifting their expectations out for that increase in the official cash rate. So, what do you do if you've got a mortgage or a term deposit? So if the official cash rate remains on hold until well into next year, then floating may be a better suggestion. However, if you believe the Reserve Bank will have to change its mind and increase the official cash rate quite soon and quite quickly, then a fixed rate makes more sense. My personal view is that the Reserve Bank is likely to leave the official cash rate on hold well into 2012. That's because I think many people are repaying debt rather than spending money in the economy, particularly farmers who are getting record high commodity price returns but are looking to repay debt rather than spread it through the economy and spending. And also, the indebted nature of New Zealand means that the recovery is going to be slower this time around, slower than many people expect. Also, there's some big headwinds showing through in the rest of the world, particularly in America and in Europe. All of that means, my personal view, is that floating makes more sense for now, because there is a prospect of long periods of low interest rates, and possibly even if things get worse, the Reserve Bank may have to cut interest rates again. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was a special economic weather report brought to you in association with Bank of New Zealand, and of course, they're my views, not necessarily those of the Bank of New Zealand.